and welcome to Sullivan's Farm. Few jobs going on at the moment. The first of which is to bring in the big cattle from up in the well field down to the yard and pick out a few of them that I'm going to feed on for another month or 6 weeks and then send to the mart. We have the 5 picked out now, not the 5 we originally planned on picking out, but 4 of the older ones and one of the yearling cattle that just needs a few cubes. And there's one of the older 2-year-old heifers, or nearly 2-year-old heifers. She's gone back up because she's that little Jersey cross Dexter Kerry type that will probably get the pension here before she's gone up the ramp. But we're going to run a hand on him now and see if we can figure out something. This is the yearling one that's just a little bit shook. So you can see, you can feel, or even I can feel the ribs there easily enough. There's not much of a flesh cover, and the same up around here and here. And throw in a comment below if I'm checking in the wrong places. We can't get at the tail stock, but this one is the half twin Frisian heifer, Jersey cross heifer again. So a little bit of a flesh, little bit of flesh on it, little bit up there. The tail stock, not much I think. But like, these haven't got any cubes yet. This is a nice limousine heifer then, and you can feel it straight away around the ribs there, and same up here. She'll be a nice one when she goes up the ramp. Same around the tail stock. The tail is kind of buried, I think that's what you're supposed to look for. We'll make educational videos yet. Another little Frisian type here. Again, feel the ribs is relatively easy. Around there, someplace like there. Same up on top. Relatively easy. Here's the Jersey one then, I was saying might be over fat already, but we're only figuring it out. I think there's definitely more of a cover on her. She's not as good as the limousine one, but there's definitely more of a cover on her. Around the back there, same again. The big back on her. And same around the tail stalk. Not a huge amount, but something. We'll see.
I'm getting attacked by flies.
We're getting killed by flies here. The young lad is fed up, and I'm fed up myself. We're going to feed him on for the next 4 or 5 weeks anyway, and we'll see from there. That's how I spend my lunchtime then on the farm day, or the off-farm days, I mean, when I'm working in the home office. Not always, but look, if there's jobs need to be done and time is pushing and you're in an office day, lunchtime can be kind of busy as well as the mornings and the evenings. But look, that's the nature of being part-time. I'm on a farm day here now, thankfully. So you're a little bit easier at it going through the jobs. And I'm after bringing in the calves again, because I want to separate out those half dozen I was talking about. And I don't think the boluses I gave him are doing much for him. Now I suppose I'm not giving him much time. But I'm going to give them a proper mineral drench when they're in the yard here at all. So we'll see how we get on. The first job anyway is to tie up this bit of a rope. I'll show you what the rope is for in a minute. So it's just tied onto a bar. Down at the end here, there's the calves. We'll have a look at them in a second. Just tied up here as well. So it just runs the length of the crush. Just sagging a little bit now. I suppose the litre of it is full, but that's just what I use the little rope for. I saw a picture of somebody else doing it on Twitter a couple of years ago, so it just makes it a bit easier rather than trying to strap it up onto your back. Or it suits me anyway, so we'll give it a go. We'll put in a few calves and horse it into them. Everything is dismantled now and taken down. I'll wash that in a few minutes time when the calves are gone out again, and it's just a matter of picking out the 4 or 5, however many are there, to give them a bit of extra space and an extra few cubes. Now I know, definitely know 3 probably 4 of them, from when they were inside in the shed before they came out off the milk. And then I'll have a look at some of the rest of them as well and see if there's any to make up a half dozen. There was 3 I was sure of, and I picked out 2 more then as well. So there's nothing wrong with them. They're just, I think they'll benefit from a few extra cubes and a little bit of time and space. Hopefully it'll help and they'll join up with the rest of them in a couple of months' time again. We'll only have one bunch of them to manage again then. We have the truck set up from outside in a separate field themselves, so we leave these out first because they're going go on to the far off knock, and they won't have to pass the other ones then. There'll be no messing along the way, hopefully. It'll be great to see that old brown colour fading away from them, but hopefully the mineral drench will do something for them. The few extra cubes and the bit of time and space, not having to be pushing, shoving big Angus bull calves out of their way at the truck. Go on now, come on, we haven't a day either to be looking at you. I'm just after refilling the bin, so I have to leave the buckets beside it for the next day or two. That'll do. They'll be getting the real stuff this evening. And there they go. Now, Sucks, don't go too far. Now, there they are, picking it away. Get this bucket out of their way. Now, we can leave out the main bunch. Ah, you boo-boo of a gate. I wanted you to do that now, you wouldn't. Come on, Sucks. Go on. Go on, you're in the clear. We don't want to see you in the air for another month or 6 weeks. Go on. We're fairly relaxed and casual around here when they're in the air, but at the same time, I presume they'd sooner not be in the air, and we try and keep them out of the air as much as possible. Keep the interventions to a minimum. Go on, hi! Come on out, don't mind them nettles. It's a sign of fertile ground, apparently, the nettles. That's what we'll say anyway. Go on, hi, 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 hi. The usual thing then, I guess, is to see another one here that I should have picked out, but so far so good anyway. Now, come on you, missus. Hi, 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 hi. No, go on, there's better crack out that way, I betcha. Bit of balling going on while they're looking at their former teammates who are gone in a different course of action for a few months. They'll be alright, they'll settle. Now go on over. You might be thirsty, get a sup of water over there. That was not without its twists and turns. And one of the 5 is gone back to the main bunch again. But look, she has an extra bit of space there now. She wasn't one of the main 3 that I wanted to pick out, so she can stay where she is now with the main bunch. Another day, another dollar. The 5 heifers I picked out the other day there, whatever day it was at lunchtime, Tuesday or Wednesday or Sunday, Monday was it? Doesn't matter. I'm only getting around to sorting out a few cubes or a bit of meal, whatever you want to call it, for them now. I brought down a few trucks earlier, so we're kind of ready to go. We'll have a look at what we have for them. It is a bit of a mixed bag. There's a few different bags left over from when I was trying to finish the cattle out of the shed. So they can finish off that as well. What we have then on the menu today is that beet pulp. I'll be mixing that and letting it soak overnight. There's barley in those bags. I bought a few beef cubes, the local co-op, coming from the office when I was in there the other day. And then there is maize in that bag. That's not the original bag. I had to put it into that because there was a few crow holes in the original bag and a bit of it leaked out. But It'll do. They're only getting used to it. They're down ahead of us there now anyway. So we'll mix up a bit of that and throw it to them, see how they get on. I don't mind mixing it for these ones, this kind of messing, but there's only a few bags of the barley and the maize and the beet pulp left. When that's gone, I'll just get and give him I'll just give him the cubes and that'll do him. And I think I was on about mixing maize and barley before for him. If I'm going to go down that route, I am going to get a cement mixer or something like that, because breaking your back like that is not worth the few bob you might save. These are our makeshift trucks then. The blue barrels and that bit of a broken truck there. So make sure they all have plenty of room anyway and they don't get lost in the docks. I'm still waiting on that topper to start handling, managing these docks, but we'll get around to that too. So. This is the reseeded field. There's a nice carpet of green coming on it. Slowly but surely, but yeah, I'm happy enough. Just doing well. If only everything was so straightforward, we'd be laughing. Something I'd like to ask people's opinion on is about what I'll do next winter. We're in the field here now where the rapeseed is going to be set this year. The bales are in place from the first cut. We'll be taking the second cut off that in the next couple of days, the next week, and then we'll be ready to set the fodder rape after that. We'll let the grass and the weeds come back a bit, spray it off. 14 days later, we'll set the fodder rape. The issue is trying to get the balance right between the number of bales out in the field and the amount of cattle eating it and the size of the field and all those kind of bits and pieces. We need equations, I think, for it. So at the moment there are, I think, about 14 or 15 bales here, and the space down to the end of the wire there. We'll start in this field, this paddock, and again work our way down from the first bale up there. The wire will be going across in parallel to where the new grass is up there, and then step by step by step shift the fence down, move the round feeder to the end of the field there. Now the issue is that based on last year, I think we need about 50 bales, but there's only room for 36 bales in the 2 rows that I just showed you. So I'm wondering where to put the other 14 bales out here in the field. I don't want to be drawing them out like I was last year. It's just that bit messy at that time of the year. So I'm wondering if I could just stack the 14 of them along at the end there. The cattle will have gone through the fodder rape. There'll be no fodder rape left at that stage. They can just spend another week or 2 or 3 weeks out here getting through the last of those bales. That's all I could think of at the moment, putting it down at the end there so they can eat them. They're in place for the end of the fodder rape, but they can't get at them before all the fodder rape is gone. If anybody has any better ideas, please throw them into the comment section below. That's that then for this video. If you have any ideas on where to put those bales, or how else to manage the rapeseed and the bales and the cattle and the size of the field and the shape of the field, throw it into the comment section below. We'll talk to you soon. Good luck.